right. Uh-oh.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Come on in the booth. Come on in the booth.
Exactly. Let's put some hearts up there and some stars up there.
Yes, we really need the stars.
Mhm.
We are in fundraising season right now. Let's do some stars. Let's do some kisses.
Mhm.
What else?
Kisses.
So listen, while we're waiting for our guests to come up in here, we're just gonna let the people know. Everybody already know who this guy is. We have
I don't
like a
know.
celebrity here tonight.
Exactly. The legendary
The
Mark Clark.
exactly. Woo, woo,
Okay.
woo. We need some sound effects.
Exactly.
We need some sound effects tonight.
Mhm.
I know that's right. But hey guys, you know what a boot is, right?
A boot?
Yeah, like not the boot that you wear on your feet.
A boot on the car?
A boot on the car.
Oh, I know all that stuff.
Oh,
All negative money, tickets,
oh
all that
no.
stuff.
Oh,
I am
man.
very aware.
Well,
Oh, man.
listen.
Repo,
Oh.
phone off,
Oh no.
tax problems, anything like that. I'm an expert in.
Well, then
Yes.
you know what? When I asked you this, are you familiar with the Spice Girls, the Golden Girls, the City Girls? But have you heard of the Boot Girls?
I've not been a boot girl.
You know what? I need to give them your number.
Don't get well. You know which number. You got that one number.
They said when the hotline blings, baby. So hey, I don't know. But listen, let's talk about the Boot Girls. So it's in Atlanta, the city of
Mhm.
Atlanta. Obviously, if you park on a lot, here they'll just call you. They'll call and get your car towed.
Mhm.
But no, now they're throwing boots on your car if you're illegally parked.
That's
And
not good.
it's $75 a day
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
that your car will sit in there. So I heard the story that even this door dasher, he just parked there right quick to go grab the meal. He was in there 2 seconds, came out, had two boots on the front wheels of the car.
They double booting.
Oh, they double booting.
Oh, that ain't right. It's not supposed to be two boots.
It's two boots, baby. No.
Some of them been getting
Well,
3 or 4 boots on the one car.
Now, why would you have put three boots on somebody's car?
Because people out here wilding out.
Oh,
but
my
but
goodness.
nevertheless, you get the boot on, and so it sits there, and so you $75 a day. The man was crying because he, first of all, he's doing DoorDash. He's a single dad, and this money, he said, I don't know how, and then he couldn't even get the food to the person who ordered it,
Man.
So now is a bunch of stuff. So guess what? They are fed up. So it's these two girls, and they're known as the Boot Girls, and they will. All you do is hit them up. They'll come out and for $50, so $25 cheaper, but they'll take the boot off.
That's the best.
So guess what? They are masked up and everything, and you just hit them up, and they take the daggone boots off. So obviously, the city of Atlanta say that it's not illegal to own the keys. So here's another side hustle. So the one girls, they take the boot off, but now it's another guy who sells the keys.
Well, they said it's not illegal.
It's not
It's
illegal
not illegal
to
to
have
own
the
the key.
key, to
It
own
seems
the
like it would be
key.
illegal to own the key.
No, not to own the key.
But to take it off, it
It's
is
illegal. So they're doing illegal practice.
Well,
The
no,
boot
because
girls.
well, yeah, the boot
out here
girls.
Yeah, the boot girls.
Yeah. And guess
Mhm.
what? They said, "Hey, do you want to tell people who you are? Take your mask off." She said, "No, because there's already people that don't like us."
Yes.
Yeah, but the guy who's selling the keys, he's rich.
Mhm.
That seems like that would be illegal. That'd be like selling the keys to some legal. That almost makes sense.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, this is what was.
I ain't trying to hate though.
But also with the boot girls,
Mhm.
if you can't afford the $50 from them, they'll put you on a payment plan.
Man.
so
Ingenuity.
Listen.
they will put you on a payment
That's-
plan.
This sounds really.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say this sounds really black. I'm not gonna. Say that. I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to get complaints.
But it's ingenious. You know
It
what?
is ingenious.
You do know we have a cancel corner.
Oh, I know I might. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to say. That's why I didn't say it. That's why I didn't say it. What I mean, like you said, convenience is what I probably. That's what I mean. You're right, because it's right. Get you on a payment plan. every 2 weeks. You can pay on it, pay something on it, and then you
pay 25
Guess
now.
People
Right.
love layaway. Makes no
Yeah, you
error.
got boots on layaway. They
Get your
brought it
boot
back.
off.
Brought it
That's
back.
right, exactly.
Mm.
And you know what? With this current economy, I'm not mad at them.
I'm not
Mhm.
mad at all. The boot girls are okay, and the guy with the
Mhm.
key, whatever.
Yeah, he done made.
How many
I can't
hundreds
even
of
remember. He
thousands
made
in
a
just
good
a few
amount of money.
days?
That
Yeah.
just seems like this is all gonna get shut down. It sounds like
Well,
But
guess
you know, if they might start tracking, putting the boot on the car, and they might charge it to if they might have the city charging.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I see.
Mhm.
Like
this
if
ain't
it
gonna
is
happen in Maryland.
Yeah.
no.
They don't
But
play here.
no. Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not familiar with this topic, but hey, Robert De Niro is a dad.
Yeah.
A new
What?
dad.
a new
Yeah,
dad.
he already had his kid.
He's 79, and he just welcomed his 7th child
It works.
with his 38-year-old girlfriend.
It
Okay,
works.
now
So
I'm not gonna. This is what I was told.
But okay.
This
Well,
no.
sound
This
like
is what I was told.
But Big Mama said this.
That
This is an old wives' tale, or we
or
gonna
maybe
say-
Big Papa.
Big Papa, which AKA Big Papa.
He said, no, someone told me, and this is walking around the office, that for men, the lights go dim after 50.
Oh, that's a subtle way of saying the lights go dim.
The lights go.
Well, I don't know. I think it depends on what kind of light bulb you have.
Oh,
Mm.
And
okay.
obviously, some burn all night, all life.
After 50.
And, yeah, I'm 57, so mine ain't dim it. Yeah, mine's probably dim. Yeah, my light bulb is. I was an old school 60 watt. You know the basic 60 watt. You know they got the new ones. They don't ever stop. You don't ever die.
Exactly, the LED.
Yeah, the LED. I got the old school 60 watt. You know,
Your light bulb.
you
is
might
dim.
come in the kitchen and it might be bright. Then the next day you come in the kitchen kind of dim.
So dim.
And
Exactly.
someday you go in there, it's dark.
That's what I heard.
What happened?
Listen.
What had happened?
What had happened, baby? I heard that light, but apparently.
But Robert De Niro does have LED, obviously.
And you know what? He
LED.
could pay for the upgrade.
Is that what happened?
Hey, he might
So,
have paid for that upgrade.
I think it should be an age limit on these people having kids. I think they mentioned this on Ricky Smiley morning show, the same topic.
Okay.
And they're saying or it may have been 92Q, one of those morning shows. They were
Mhm.
saying, like, by the time the kid is 18, he gonna be 98. And it's
Baby.
like,
He
Yeah.
definitely ain't throwing the ball.
I don't know. He might be.
You
Your
never
mama-
know. I think his parents lived into their like 90s and 100s. Yeah, so.
Oh, really?
Like Clint Eastwood's mom, I think lived to be 113 or something crazy.
But was she throwing the ball?
But Robert De Niro is.
He sure Listen, see, you know,
I'm not in cancel time yet.
you're not going to
Okay.
get in cancel corner. Obviously, but you know what? We were invited to be a part of this RE Plus convention. And so shout out to RE Plus. That's going to be coming up in September. And so they love having Power 52 as a partner, and they always, support us in our grassroots efforts. But they told us that they looked at the kissing booth.
Oh, wait a minute.
And so,
Okay,
yes,
you calm down. I want y'all banned from Vince.
And
No,
so,
trust me,
what
you're
did they tell
fine. We
you,
were
Lo?
talking about power and everything.
Yeah.
We're good.
So, Lo, what did they tell you?
Oh, that they want us to do an hour episode when we go to Vegas in
Oh,
September.
Exactly.
Okay, Power
Okay,
52.
They said the kissing booth was a
The
riot.
kissing
and
booth
they
is coming
loved
to
it.
Well, can I-
Vegas.
Ladies, can I ask you this?
Okay.
Okay. I just want to ask you.
Mhm.
So, Robert De Niro's 79 and he's fathering kids, right?
Okay.
When is it intriguing for a woman to see an older man have, still be able to make kids and da 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 da? Is there something inside that you go, it makes him more manly or more, obviously virile, I guess is the word, or does it gross you out? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Are you like, oh wow, or you're like, oh wow?
When
I
I
mean,
hear that, I hear worms.
oh wow.
Now I'm about to go in the cancel mirror.
Oh, wow. Worms. Now you are in.
I mean,
You're canceled out.
I'm sorry.
Our ratings, 80+-year-old ratings are down with males 80+. They mad at you now. I used
But
to
you
like the
know
show.
what? I congratulate him in his efforts to, multiply
Well, when you think
And-
about his girlfriend's 30-something, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, no,
If you,
I'm
if you
not.
start,
like
if you go down that rabbit
40
hole,
Well,
No,
at least
no.
she's
That's like
not
a
25,
40-year
so I'll
gap.
take 38.
A 40-year gap. What do y'all have to
What are
talk
you
about?
talking about?
Like, what
They're
do you have in
talking about
common?
Fendi, Gucci, and
oh
Louis
wow. Well,
Vuitton.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
and you know
No.
that is as an older man, I will say no. No, I think yeah. That is
Yeah,
kind of
I don't know.
he's an actor though, so there you go.
So we have the perfect guest on to ask this next
Mhm.
question.
Oh.
So
You talking about me?
again, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
listen. So I was on social media, just trolling away, and I see that there were a lot of people upset about this AI thing.
Yeah.
So AI in music. So did you see it? They had I guess made or duplicated or made it was a fresh song, but the person sound like Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And who was I'm trying to think
And
who
The Weeknd.
and The Weeknd.
Mhm.
No,
Did
The
you hear the
Weeknd.
song?
The Weeknd is a droid, so no, but yeah. I didn't hear the song.
You know what? We're literally going to put something cancel corner over there.
Why we
No.
put it over here? Over there.
Oh, right.
Oh, what? I'm the guest. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, they are pushing this AI down our throat,
Oh, they are.
and I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
it's really, I think it really is frightening when you start talking about the arts because you go, okay, I don't mind somebody like delivering, like doing some physical, working in a warehouse and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when you start to tap into the creativity piece,
Oh, my goodness.
it's almost overwhelming because you're like, well, and let's keep it real. Music already is in that space already because sadly, it's different than it was before.
Well, so here's the thing. Let's just think back about 25 years ago with Milli Vanilli. They straight canceled them for using. Remember that
but
whole
they
thing?
lip
but they were
syncing or something?
well they were lying. I mean, it wasn't it was Kevin Liles.
Well,
And
yeah,
so
I know.
that was
Yeah.
not them. They were just the face of the song.
Well, yeah, that's true. But remember, I think they weren't really, because I know Rod and
I
Kevin
think
and
they're
all
lip
them,
Yeah.
they
syncing
wrote
or
the song,
something.
Yeah.
but they were lip singing.
Yeah.
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 So
They weren't the real image of the song. But I mean, sadly, as we kind of look at it, we won't hop into that big discussion. But
oh my goodness.
nowadays, like you said, it's not about being a great singer. It's almost about your image, and it's
It
about
is.
the melody. And
And
so
it's
if somebody
about-
can just create a fake melody and you just slap an image on it, then
Exactly.
we're off to the races.
Well, and just show up naked.
Well,
You're really off to the
cancel
races.
back in the cancel corner again.
No, because when you look at the wardrobes, it's like lack of wardrobe.
Yeah, and that's
You
the
know.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my
Everybody.
old,
Okay.
That's my old joke. I've been in radio a long time. Sorry, guys. You do this. That's not really the guys. That's just my joke. But no, you're right. I mean, it's kind of like it's gone. It's down to that now. So now
Right.
this AI thing could really. Can you imagine how much money they wouldn't have to pay if they just had a fake? Your computer made the song 100%.
Yeah.
So that's what
Oh,
some
that's
they're
true.
saying, and the New York Times did an article basically
Mhm.
saying, like, how do students feel about the this AI generated music? Because they put out songs like Michael Jackson singing "I Will Always Love You" and like stuff like that. They're like artists singing other people's songs, and it kind of sounds like them for the most part, or whatever. But they
Mhm.
were saying some were saying they were for it because it will help the artists become more
What?
creative to help them come up with more lyrics and
Mm.
things like that. But
No, that's
some were
that's-
saying that with music, there's such an emotional part of it
Yes.
Mhm.
that if you let an AI, it'll take some of that feeling out of it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it'll
it's just gonna
like,
be
what's the
more-
purpose?
yeah.
Mhm.
It's interesting because it speaks to, sadly, I think, the relationship between art, like what's happening.
Right.
Because then
Mhm.
people, it's going to be a whole thing where people are going to defend, what artists, blah, blah, blah. But I think at the end of the day, it's almost like the same thing, like when you think about music,
Mhm.
like when, there was a time when if you were unique and you were creative, that was what it was all about.
Right.
And you
exactly.
you didn't sound, if you sounded like somebody else, then you were biting, and that wasn't cool.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And then it became the culture where you can sound like because basically the path to art is usually from drawing to singing.
Mhm.
Your music, you have somebody that you admire, you probably sound like them at some point, and then you spin until you do your own thing.
But it piggybacking on that whole your week. What about the ghostwriting? So when they were saying Biggie was ghostwriting for Kim, then they felt like she lost some cred because of it.
Well, and that's why, and then like as time goes on, you can't even have a real conversation because it's almost like like Quincy Jones, a producer who could go in a room and score an orchestra. Like I'm writing the part for the piano, I'm writing the part for the violins, I'm writing the part for the piano. I said the piano, but then it changes to, like you said, hip hop, which basically took samples of already created music. So a guy like a Quincy Jones, when he says, "Oh, that's not really blah blah blah," everybody criticizes. Oh, he's just hating,
right.
But it's not really true because actually I created this. I wrote this.
Exactly.
I learned how to play an instrument and I created it. You just took what I did and added it, and it's a hit. But it was already a hit. So but that opens up all those arguments. So now AI will now add that. That'll be added on to that.
It's gonna
I
be
guess
worse.
some would say that's progress. That's the progress. That's future. That's whatever. But it is kind of, some about it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it
Sometimes
is.
I think it also depends on the genre too, because like hip hop has really been known for you need to come up with your own lyrics and things like that. But like if you watch that new Whitney Houston movie, she didn't really write no songs and she just sung. So like someone could say, oh, she wasn't a writer, like she was just the voice.
No.
So you know what? Let's talk about retrograde right quick, and then we're gonna get the show started because this is just
the show ain't even started.
The show ain't even started because
Lord.
we got in here talking.
Okay,
but let's just talk about. Listen, we were on CP time, even getting on today. So let's just talk about all the computer issues that I've had in the past 2 weeks. I'm literally like using one of our spare computers around here. Like this camera isn't working and we had to unplug here. And so literally I paused one day and said, no, we must be in retrograde. So I talk about stuff and she's like, whatever. Like she didn't. And so she's like, what are you talking about? And so at any rate, I looked it up. I started seeing people talk about it online. Yes. So, we are in retrograde. And so for you guys out there in the kissing booth, you don't know what retrograde is. This means that Mercury is appearing to move forward, to move backwards. Okay. But we're still like moving forward. Some believe that when this happens, that there is a breakdown in communication. Well, there's been a lot of breakdown communications. I got into a little tiff. I said something yesterday and they told me what I said and I'm saying that is not what I said. And everyone was
said what I said.
Yeah, right. I'm like, okay. But has anybody out there in the kissing booth, because I need some comments, have you guys been off? Have you been getting into, unnecessary tiffs in the past few weeks? Because I think we have until the 4th. When is it over, Love?
I think the 14th. I don't believe in this retrograde. Why does this one planet appearing to move backwards have anything to do with me? That's just me. like you maybe it's just cancel. Just a time where it's just stuff going on. Like I don't know. What do you think? Because then when stuff happens when it's not in retrograde, what's the excuse then?
Well, I will say, no, we are definitely a retrograde household. But I will say, so I was introduced to my late father-in-law and mother-in-law, and so that the whole concept, he studied all of it, right?
Okay.
But what I hold on to is I don't say I don't agree with it. What I'm saying is I think my consciousness, I always claim the positive, whatever it is. So I don't like to blame something on something. You know what I mean? So my approach isn't, like you said, ironically, you're right. Yesterday at work, I had a blow up. It was all about miscommunication. So I'm not shocked because, like I say, when you're retrograde, those things will happen. But I always say, I just go with a positive attitude, like you're saying, anyway. Yeah. So I say no losses, only lessons. So even if you're in that space, yeah, it is what it is. But I don't claim it because I think it then becomes the excuse everybody uses. Blah blah. So this is what. Okay, whatever it is, you got to face it on. That's
and you know what? And so with that, I agree. I said, you know what? I'm going to elevate higher.
There we
I'm
go.
going to keep my energy up here.
Because you know somebody.
I'm telling you.
You know a man.
Where's the cancel corner at? All the church ladies in the chat, I'm sure they're going to be getting you in the mail. But listen,
it's true though.
I literally, I literally told Lo that I'm going to elevate high. But you know what? Let's just get this daggone show started before I cancel
I'm not
him.
joking. It's true. We do know. We know that.
You know, y'all, we had the professional in the house, and he's throwing a little shade on our graphics.
No, it's good. Your graphic is my graphic's terrible. I got mine on Fiverr for $3.
No, who's introducing this guy next to me?
So we in Baltimore, we probably don't have to do much of an introduction. This is Mark Clark. He is the, I guess, radio icon in Baltimore for years, like 10 years, just about, was the
Yeah.
Big Fat Morning Show on 92Q.
Yeah, almost
I remember
90%.
listening to that growing up.
Yeah.
And you've
And
just
so-
done pivoted from that to TV and just
Exactly. And
media,
be more lifestyle.
yeah.
He's a media mogul.
Right.
Without the money. Media mogul without the money. But it's fine. It's coming.
That's right. Call those things
It's
that are
coming.
not as though they are.
It's right. It's coming. Because I know somebody.
Cancel corner
All right.
is coming for you. And it's sponsored by the church ladies that's in the kissing booth. That's what we do now.
So tell us about yourself. Like, tell us about your upbringing. What kind of got you into wanting to do media and things like that?
Okay, so I was born a poor black child in Springfield, Illinois, which is the state capital. Actually, I was born in Detroit. And then my mother, who is from Springfield, would go back to Springfield to go take care of grandpa. And, that's where the family was. And so I grew up wanting to be in media. I think it was TV first, but my mother took a radio class when I was in, she went back to school. And when I was in school, I accompanied her. And, Springfield we didn't have a black radio station. Still, we don't have a black radio station.
Wow.
So we used to hook the cable up to the radio to hear St. Louis, which is about 80 miles away.
Oh, wow.
And so, I started off, I was I think I knew what I wanted to do early on. So I did the announcements in school. I did the announcements, the basketball games. I did the announcements, in the morning. So it was like, I was that guy. I was that kid who knew what I wanted to do early on, which is such a blessing. Also an only child. So I think I probably was very focused, very kind of like my mother taught me how to really just kind of move to my own drummer kind of thing. And I think, in doing that, you kind of learn some things. So I went to junior college after high school. Grades weren't the greatest, but I got a job at a radio station, which was cool. And so I was actually working at a real radio station as a board op, going to junior college. I went to junior college for 2 years, and I transferred to the 4-year state college for 2 years. So I got out in 4 years. And then when I hit the ground in college, it was the same thing. I got a job at a real radio station. In the first semester, I was the assistant program director for the student radio station. And like I said, I worked at the real radio station, a top 40 station. So, I kind of got off to that kind of thing.
So I think because you already knew what you wanted to do, you were okay with being broke, because you do have to be broke.
That's true.
To be at, I was at 92Q for a minute there.
Well, it was like you said, though, what I realized is you're right, because I knew what I wanted to do and I hopped in early. A lot of those free jobs and those no jobs, my first job out of college, it was 14.5. I was a program director and morning guy. We all made 14.5.
Oh my gosh.
In Huntsville, Alabama. So the progression was 14.5 in Huntsville, Alabama. It was 18. And then I think I went to St. Louis. So it was 14.5, then 18,000, and then 30,000, right? And so then I met Allison in St. Louis. And I was making 30,000. And we got engaged, and she got the job here in the area. So I followed her out here. I called Russ Parr, said, "Hey man, are there any jobs in the area?" He said 92Q's looking for a morning show.
Oh wow.
So I went from following Allison, making 30, to my first contract in 92Q was 110,000 base,
Oh,
and
okay.
plus
Yeah.
bonuses.
For bonus.
So by the
Okay.
time we got married, we were engaged. By the time we got married, I had, I met her, I was making 30,000. When we got married, I was making 100,000
Oh,
plus
oh, that was
in
Mhm.
Baltimore.
good.
That was
She
a big Fat
said,
Morning show.
yeah.
And so
But
that was,
yeah, but for others around you, because we're here, we're in the kissing booth, so we're, is there are other young people who are
yes,
aspiring to get
yes.
into the media. So, what track do you think, or what advice could you give someone who's looking to get into the
So
business?
find your passion. Again, I think there's kind of two schools of thought, and I have kids in college, so not everybody finds their passion early, and especially in such a
Yeah.
changing world.
Mhm.
But I do think finding your passion is the key to life, because like my middle daughter has a challenge because I think she hasn't found her passion, and so she goes. You're in college, doesn't really have a big friend group, and you don't have a passion like a passionate major. If you find your passion, you find other people who also are passionate about it, and so therefore you have a social situation. You can talk about it, you can get into it. You know what I mean? But if you don't have that, you're kind of in college looking for friends or looking for a group, and that formula is kind of tough.
Yeah, right.
Because if you come together with common interests, that's where I think not only college but life in general is that way.
Yeah.
And so, so for young people, I would say definitely figure out what you love to do, figure out what you want to do. You have to start dreaming too. Dream. I'm a big proponent of dreaming.
Yes.
Grown-ups too. If you're a grown-up
Yes.
listening,
Dream.
a lot of times grown-ups are so practical, they forgot how to dream.
Well, when I encounter a potential partner, literally I'll say to them, let's dream together. So what does this look like?
Exactly.
What could the possibility? Let's lay it all out on the table, because if we come in guarded, then we don't know what the possibilities could be, with us working together and building. But someone who's trying to get into radio or media, it's a little scary, because let's just think, back when we were at 92Q, he was a big time person. I was a little small person working in research.
Oh, she was never small.
Right.
She was always
But,
special and sweet and talented.
But here's the thing. Remember they did away with the morning show and syndicated, brought in the market.
Oh, I remember. Them last checks. We're going in a new direction. New direction is always bad.
It's always bad.
That means you about to get fired. Somebody say new direction, that means you getting fired.
Exactly, without a doubt. But so when that does happen, so Allison's still working, what do you do? Because I didn't hear from you for a very long time.
Well, you know why? Because I was in the basement. No. Well, first of all, I'm sorry, for the young people, anybody interested in media. Now, here's the blessing. We grew up at a time where you had to get on a platform. Now the platform is your phone.
Right.
What we're doing right now, this is a TV show. This, and if you're young and on Instagram or young on any platform, you are more powerful than old Mark Clark. I'm a dinosaur. We're on our last legs on the traditional platforms. Right. This is where it's going. As you can see on social media, all these superstar people with their podcasts and with their whatever. And the funny part is, notice how you don't see a lot of established people killing it on that platform. Right. And so you say, well, why? I think a part of it is we came up in a world where people promoted and marketed us. We weren't great at promoting and marketing ourselves.
Well, this is true.
And then also some of us also, like, if you're not over the top, if you're not controversial, we're almost trained. We're trained not. Most people can't. Most of us can't even say, be honest, because we're so trained. Like, well, if I say that, I might offend this person. If I might say, and nobody wants to hear that. People want to hear controversy. People want to hear raw.
Exactly.
And I mean, and there's a part of it that's kind of like, a part of it that's kind of like, so when I interview artists, they're so guarded now because now everybody tries to do a gotcha interview. My interviews aren't like that. I really do care. But just be honest, a lot of people don't care for those interviews.
Well,
but
that's
also though with podcasting, the good thing is you can have a niche show, like a niche show like this one, and people who love what you do, they come and so you can so you just have to get.
But let's just talk about that for a minute, because we're I want to think, because of the media background that I've had back in my old life, is that I have inserted a lot of that into what we do here at a foundation. So a lot of it is unheard of. Like a lot of the different things and approaches that we have is because I've brought myself
No, that's
into
true.
it. Okay, I've
Mhm.
infused it into what we're doing here. But even with doing so, I feel that, a lot of times we're swept under the carpet because, nobody wants to hear, like you said, if it's not controversy,
Yeah.
then they don't want to hear about it. Anything that's good, anything that's, just to do good stuff, the feel good moments,
Yeah.
they don't want to hear about
Mhm.
it. So, I really think that the kissing booth does allow for us to just cut up a little bit, definitely show that we're human, and that we know how to laugh.
No,
And
that's important.
although diversity, equity, and inclusion, all those things are, the core of, in the fabric what in everything that we do, we still like to have fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, your
So
personality is a big part. I mean, let's keep it real. Like
mhm.
our interaction the first time we, out
Oh yeah.
on the golf course
Mhm.
last year. And I know you from the past, but what I realized is a lot of people, whatever reason, they have the guards up,
Yeah.
and so they make it almost like not hard to, but like you're very personable. So
Right.
people have an experience with you. It extends to the organization, and it
Exactly.
kind of like you feel you have a certain feeling, so you like that feeling.
Mhm.
Other people, when they don't, if you don't open up or they're guarded, it just becomes very transactional and just very brief. Like, hey, how you doing? And keep it
And
moving
keep
because
it moving.
the person doesn't make the people feel special.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think you're right. And that's the gift that you have and the organization has. And I tell you what, like being out there, I saw Ed the other day, and then when we looked
At
at
who?
it,
See how he's dropping it.
Yeah, we know he's famous.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
famous.
Hall of Fame, Hall of Famer,
He-
defensive back.
yes, let's say all of that. Yep, gold jacket. He just saw
Y'all know the
Ed.
Ed I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saw Ed.
He just saw Ed. You know.
No, we did. We actually did a hit from his foundation. They had at the school
Okay.
at Booker T. Washington. So he
Mhm.
was there in town. But I thought about like him and Ray. It's like just seeing how people react. You're
Yeah.
just like, whew, talk about like
Oh.
everybody,
Oh
and especially
yeah.
those two. Even Grandpa, who
Oh.
don't go ain't excited about nobody. Oh, he gonna step to Ray Lewis.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, Ray, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. And I was just thinking,
Exactly. And
how do you
trying
even
to do the dance.
how do
Understand
you
that?
manage it? Both those guys are like, how do you even manage that? Because not just the kids, not just the fans, but just everybody.
Oh,
But
yeah.
even
You
like
know,
if you pay attention
Mhm.
to like Ray, if that old man didn't walk up, he would act like that was his
His
personal
best friend.
grandfather.
Right,
Like
right,
he appears to be very attentive to the
right.
person. So
But I was just
Yeah.
thinking, it just made me think about how like managing that has to be a lot. And to be
mhm.
honest,
It-
we put so I we say what happened to Ed. So I'm
Mhm.
out there for Fox 45,
Okay.
and Ed, I hadn't seen Ed in a while,
Mhm,
but I
mhm,
know Ed,
mhm.
and so he arrived, and this handler, the handlers have to
Yeah.
run and whatever,
Mhm.
and so I had that. I was like a puppy, like you're like, hey,
Hey.
hey, and so he's on the phone. He's on the
Okay.
phone, right?
Okay.
And his handler's running their face. He may or may not be able to talk. You're like,
What?
we're not. The only
We're
purpose we're here is to
here.
talk
Right.
to him. So
Exactly.
that's playing. So then you start to, part of you starts to be like,
Right.
am I going to get
Well,
to talk to him? And I'm
yeah.
the only person. And then he's on the phone, but it
Mhm.
obviously was an important conversation. So I'm
Right.
just like, hey. And so
Hey,
like it's like 2 minutes. They go 2 minutes.
it's me.
Right. 2 minutes. And then, two in my ear. 2 minutes. And
Oh
he's on
my
the phone, and I'm
gosh.
like, hey, Ed. And so then the party was like, man, they didn't want to talk to me.
Right.
But it was like, so of course he got off the call. He was
Mhm.
amazing. He did what he does. You know what I'm saying?
And then he
But
got
I was
back on
just
the phone
thinking,
and told you to kick. Right.
right, right. But you
No, I'm
just
joking.
go like, it has to be hard because
Yeah.
and this is somebody that he knows, he recognizes as a big TV camera. It's different.
Yeah.
But it's just like, imagine just your whole day, everybody's waiting
Oh,
to be,
everybody's
hey,
waiting.
can I get it? And then if you have to say, I'm sorry, he has to go, or I used to have to go, then they mad.
Well,
Oh, I saw him. He didn't talk to me for 20 hours. So
Well, but
Mhm.
and so we've had to deal with, some of that.
yeah.
Just even being, Ray being a co-founder and all that, and so definitely you just have to manage it, and we do that. It, I can tell you
But
some
having a great
stories.
personality,
man.
having a staff with a great personality
Yeah.
helps us so much because when you have to be the bad guy, y'all know how to be the bad
Oh,
guy.
Right.
yeah.
Some people don't know how to be the
Mhm.
bad guy.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's like you do not need to be in this role.
Well,
know,
exactly.
Because Big Mama is
Right.
crying, okay?
Exactly.
She had a little Ray
Exactly.
sweater on and a Ray hat,
Exactly.
and she crying.
And it's 99 degrees. And she
Exactly.
has the wool scarf
Exactly.
I was thinking he could sign my
Yeah.
whole.
She knitted that from 2 strings.
Right.
She's in the.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm,
Sorry
mhm.
about what the word.
Oh, you
Okay,
getting
so-
caught? It's Ray
well,
right
you
there.
know
Ray calling you
So-
calm down on the Ray stuff.
I know.
So you worked, in Baltimore, St. Louis, and then New York a little bit. So did you ever find it difficult to like adapt to those different cities and the different audiences? And how was that?
You know what? I think being
That's
from small town America, I think I really enjoyed every city.
Okay.
And the funny part about every city is, well, except New York, because to me, New York and Chicago have the most proud people. They brag on
Oh
that.
my
They're gonna
goodness.
tell you they from Chicago.
Oh,
I don't
they
know because I'm
gonna
from
tell-
Chicago and we blah 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 blah. I don't know because we
Yes.
from New York and we blah.
Oh
blah. It's
my
like they're the most proud city.
Listen, well, you know what, Baltimore, baby, they do the same. Look, I'm from
Baltimore does, but you know
no,
what though?
but New York. I know what you're saying.
know what I'm saying?
New York is definitely
I
going
think
to
a different type of a
girl.
Let me use a
Uh-oh.
different
Oh, wait a minute.
Let me use a
Cancel.
different
Cancel.
Cancel.
a little stronger in
Yes.
their
Yes.
delivery.
So being from small town America, I really enjoyed every city. The funny part is, a lot of times people when they knock on their city, they'll be like, "Oh, our city, people brag." They don't talk about what college they go to; they talk about what high school they go to. Guess what?
Mhm.
Everybody does that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They do it in Detroit, they do it here, they do it there. It's not just here. People think it's just
okay,
here.
yeah.
My little small town, and in my little small town, people really do just you graduate high school, then you get a job at the state. That's kind of what most people do. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But no, it's common. But yeah, so going to each thing, it was always an adventure. I think like St. Louis and Baltimore are very similar in that they love St. Louis and Baltimore. They love their radio personality. They love their people. Like if they love you, they love you forever.
Mm.
New York. New York. The thing about New York though, it has a reputation for not caring. I had a high blood pressure episode in New York.
Okay.
And actually, it was like they were I was at the bodega, my nose started bleeding,
Mhm.
and they was like, "Yo, son, yo, Dunny, yo, you need to get that checked out. Yo, have a
as
seat,
caring as they could be.
yo, son."
Yes.
And that was the women. And I was like, and so, but the funny part was, I was in Queens, and so I live in Bethesda here. But
Yes,
in New York, I
Bethesda.
lived in a basement apartment in Queens. And when I say apartment, it wasn't an apartment; it was a basement.
Yeah, and it was one room.
And so when the episode,
Was the bathroom in the hallway?
no, it wasn't. No, I actually had my own little bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But when the episode happened, so I went to the regular folks hospital,
Okay.
and so I was in the waiting room for 24
99
hours. 24 hours with a bleeding nose.
Oh
And
my
then I finally got up there, but it was like a tale of two cities. Like wow, if if it happened at home, it'd be different.
Oh yeah.
But it was a good reminder. But
Okay.
they looked out for me.
So
New
wait
York
a
looked
minute.
out for me.
So how long were you in New York?
3 years. I commuted. I
Oh.
came home every weekend,
Oh wow.
but I was there. I commuted and I lived there during the week.
Oh.
Wow.
And so
okay.
once again, my
was
wife,
this after 92Q?
yeah, this was like 2014 to 2017.
Yeah. So tell us about that, because
So basically, what happened was 92Q 2008. You get the top tap on the radio, tap on the window. Hey, Mark, when you're done, can you come to my office?
Come
General
on,
manager. And
we're going in another direction.
I looked at Sanjay and the pork chop. I was like, they about to fire me. Because they already let go of Marvin. They'd already let go of Troy. And so I'm walking back there. I see Dave
dang.
waving promotions. He was
No,
crying.
that's my boy. Dave.
He was crying.
Yeah.
I was walking by. He's like, "We love you, Mark." I was like,
no.
"Wow, it's going down." So I went in and I said,
Yeah.
"Wow, how are you about to fire me?" He's like, "Quit joking, Mark. We're going in another direction."
You're not
It's,
fired. We're just going in another. You
Yeah,
can
so
stay
from
right where you are.
2008, I became Mr. Mom at home from 2008 for like, I don't know, 6 years.
Oh.
I was underemployed for like 6 years, yo.
Wow.
But look at God, though. I was home, but that allowed me to be with my daughters
Yeah.
and take them to school and do their hair and make breakfast. And so it was really like, again, who knew that was a setup? So when the New York thing came, the family was so tight that it could stay. It wasn't going to be a problem.
Mhm.
We had that time
Oh,
together, so
yeah,
that's why
yeah,
things
yeah.
happen.
That's good.
Things happen. You know, be like, why me, God? Well,
Yeah.
usually there's a reason.
Mhm.
There's a time, and so that allowed me to do the New York thing. Then
So tell us, what were you
Mhm.
doing in New York?
So I did evenings in New York. I did a show. Shout out to Tim Watts. So I basically I did the
wow.
evening show and I did a show and I did it like Tim Watts. You know, Tim used to always have the music trivia.
Uh-huh.
So I basically did that kind of show where like an old school radio show. I was playing. They weren't really paying attention, so I was playing cuts, Barry White 9-minute records,
Oh, wow.
7-minute records, and
Oh,
so
wow.
it was. The good news is
Like
it was
the
at Madison
Quiet
Square
Storm.
Garden. Yeah, it was at Madison Square Garden. We were on the
Oh.
17th floor, so that's pretty exciting.
Nice,
So a lot of
yeah.
people came to visit. The
Mhm.
bad news was the signal was the worst. So
Oh.
ratings wise, we were terrible.
Uh-huh.
But I had this feature I did. Who did it best? You know, you do a classic versus
Oh,
the new
yeah,
version.
right. That's
And I was killing it. It was amazing because I was playing songs off YouTube. I was just
Oh, okay.
it was some old school how it used to be.
Right, right.
And New York responded, like I said, it had a whole old school music crew, had a group of people were still cool.
Uh-huh.
And it was cool. So for 3 years I did that, and then
And then they went into another direction.
well, what's funny? So ironically, back to how life works. So I mentioned the money just because it kind of just to give people perspective, and
Yeah.
it's kind of how the path to life. So Big Fat Morning Show, $300,000, 2008, 25,000, 2009.
Oh, wow.
Right. So the family, my wife held it all together. Right.
Oh, wow.
So then I get this job in New York. It's $100,000 job. Right. Boom. So I'm in New York doing it, and then my mother-in-law passed away. So
Mm.
then I had to walk away from the job because my father-in-law moved in with us.
Oh,
So again, but it's
okay.
almost like it wasn't ever about the money. It was our marriage was never about I'm the breadwinner. Those conversations
Yeah,
people
well,
have.
that's good.
That wasn't
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
also even having a job or whatever, you have to manage. Your job is not you. You're
Right.
more than your job.
Well, and that's
People get
good
tied
because
to
a
it.
lot of times people like to say, "Oh, a marriage is 50-50." Yeah, it's not.
It's rarely 50.
The whole thing is 100.
Yeah.
And then sometimes
It's
it's
this.
50-50. Sometimes it's 70-30.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's 90-10.
Oh yeah.
I
was just
so yeah.
It definitely is. And like
Mhm.
so like you said, I wasn't making any money, but my father-in-law, I walked away from 6 figures, but I was there to be there for my father-in-law. And you can imagine how that looked to my kids and to my wife and to my father-in-law, who was the most brilliant guy I've ever known. And so
Wow.
family-wise, we got some real valuable time,
Well,
and
that's
so
good.
and I noticed, like you said, when you're talking about life, it's kind of like this,
Yeah,
So
it
I
is.
come home when Dad passed, my mother passed the same year, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
no.
So it's almost
Okay.
like these things. It's kind of like it kind of
Peaks and
happened.
valleys.
And then so then Allison, Dad passes, and then after walking away from that 6-figure job, me and Allison ended up on the radio at WHUR in DC.
Oh, wow.
And so for those who don't know, Allison, has been a #1 news anchor in DC forever. So now we're doing afternoons on WHUR.
Oh, wow.
And so we're like, oh, this is amazing. We're like,
Yeah,
and then after 18
right.
months, they let us go.
Oh,
We're
wow.
going in another direction.
We're going in
I was like, what the heck? I just knew. Because, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like,
Right.
what are
And
you
that
talking
18
about?
months went by like
It
that.
went just like that.
Oh,
And
my
so
goodness.
back to the basement. But
The basement
But
boogie.
it started the reinventing Mark Clark thing. So I was at my heaviest, taking care of I think what happened was that my dad and mom passed, my father-in-law and my mom passed. I was at home, I was after being a caregiver, the weight kind of crept up on me. So I found myself at my heaviest and out of work once again. And so that's when I started this reinventing Mark Clark thing, which I got on the treadmill and I just started doing like a positive message every day.
Oh, wow.
And so I built a little reinventing Mark Clark crew. And then I decided to have the weight loss surgery. And so then,
did you?
yeah, so then I got
okay.
the weight loss surgery. So then I lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
And then I landed on television in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
So the people who saw the journey saw it go from Mark Clark at 372 pounds without a job. And I start the reinventing journey. You look up, I'm on television in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
100 pounds lighter.
And so how did you, were you just applying the whole time?
No, one of the young ladies had, I'd appeared on the lifestyle show there as a guest, like I'm on this show.
Okay.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows?
And
Hey,
so,
they might pick me up on your show.
Yeah. And so there was an opening, and I was like, I inquired. She was pregnant, and so, and then I auditioned, and I got it.
Oh, good.
And so,
okay.
yeah, so that set me up. So then I did that from August to December. Then it was over. back to the basement. That damn basement.
that basement, baby.
That basement's serious. And so
he's like, come on home.
come back to the basement.
Right.
And so then Brandy was, she was doing the thing here.
Oh yeah,
And
right.
so then I was like,
Brandy.
oh, so hey Brandy, da 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 da. So then Brandy and Patrice called, and next thing you know, boom, 2-year contract here in Baltimore. I'm back in Baltimore. On
and
TV.
so this is your own thing. And so I know you have a guest or co-host,
Lady T. Yep.
Lady T. That's right. I met her. Okay. Yeah. So how did she come about? And your whole.
So
show?
Lady T was there. So Lady T was there. She did entertainment, and she was there with Brandy. Then they added me, and so that was June, and so I do, how it goes. Like I was hired to do Be More Lifestyle, but I also do So Baltimore every morning. They were like, we may occasionally use you on the morning show. I'm on every morning, 3 times a morning.
Look at that.
It keeps them out of the basement.
Out of the basement, even though it has basement check vibes. I check the basement, be like, are you still with me, Mark? No, I'm working. Oh, the check looks like you're with me. But hey, I ain't complaining, God.
Nobody's watching this from 96 years. Not complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Oh my goodness.
Mark, are you here? No, I'm at work.
Congratulations too. I saw that you posted about your daughter. She's about to graduate.
Sydney's graduating this weekend. Put a tear to my. She called me yesterday.
I wish we had that clip with her. Yeah.
She was like, Daddy, hey. And first of all, when they say daddy and they're in their 20s, it just melts your heart because you just think about it when they're little. And so she's always been Miss, full scholarship, whatever. But she called me and said, hey, Daddy, I'm graduating magna cum laude this weekend. So.
And so she did
4.5 at Hampton.
That is awesome.
4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't get no straight A's.
She was
oh,
said,
wow.
she surprised herself,
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and honey,
That
she
is
did a
awesome.
little TikTok. I had to send it to y'all. I wish we had it to play.
That little dancing.
But she was dancing and she was happy. I said,
is
all right,
awesome.
girlfriend. That's so good. And so as you have one coming out, I have one going in. So
See?
my daughter, she's headed to Temple.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, let me shout them out. Sydney's graduating from Hampton. Skylar is at Norfolk State, and then Spencer, my baby, she's going to Clark in the fall. So
Oh,
Clark Atlanta.
nice. Oh, good. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm familiar with.
You
the
better
Norfolk.
stay out of the basement.
Well, no. Thank God for Allison. In those conversations, I just be like, here's my face.
Right.
My little check ain't doing nothing.
She was like,
You know how much it's going to cost?
I said they going to Clark.
Oh yeah. No.
You better not
I've learned
say
all
nothing.
those lessons. There's no fight in me. I'm like, yes, dear. What can you say? How much is Clark? What?
Exactly.
How much? Really?
Oh my
I just be like,
goodness.
wow.
Yeah.
Back to the basement. I'll take care of the gas ride down.
Oh, the gas.
You have to find your place.
Exactly.
You buy the chips. I buy the chips on the way. When Sydney first went to college, I was between jobs. And I will admit it was sad because in my mind I wanted to be able to give my baby $500 or give her some money, but I was just like, Daddy's proud of you. Come here.
Give me a big old hug.
That's right. Daddy's proud of you. No cash app. I need gas for Thursday. I understand, Daddy.
But I think that gives good perspective though, because some people might think, "Oh, you're a media personality. You got it. You
Oh,
got.
yeah.
You
I
know."
was going off on my youngest, who's going to Clark.
Mhm.
Whew. She was frustrated.
Oh, okay.
So I did how as a parent, you go on that diatribe, you just go off frustrated.
Right.
You think your mom's frustrated? Having to put her family on the back and carry her whole family on the back. You think I'm frustrated driving a Chevy and I'm a damn radio legend? You think I was pulling everybody.
Right,
You think so-and-so frustrated?
Exactly.
She gave me that look like, oh my
Oh
God,
my God.
kick me away, Jesus.
And look, and so you're the only male in the household.
Yes,
Oh,
3
so
girls, 2 female dogs, and my wife.
Oh, my
All
goodness.
feminine energy.
I have one friend, and he stays in the garage.
And don't bring up no argument. These kids are so well versed. Oh,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
Dad? That's so male. Oh, your male
Oh
perspective.
yeah, oh definitely.
I'm like, let me just not answer this question.
So, so I get, wait a minute. We're so caught up, but before, we want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And before you go, PJ has some hot seat questions for you.
No, I'm in the hot seat.
Yes, hot seat questions.
You've been in the
All
hot
right.
seat. First of all, you've had us in the hot room. We hope we don't
I
end
think
up in
this
the
is the
cancel
most
corner.
humorous episode we've had. This is good. You might
Yes.
have to return. But all right, here we go. Chicken box or New York pizza?
Oh yeah, chicken box.
Okay,
Mhm.
BT or TV One?
Don't be in the basement.
BET. Yes.
Okay, Statue of Liberty or Washington Monument?
You know what? I'm gonna say Washington Monument. It's weird. I feel the Statue of Liberty, but I think I have to say Washington Monument.
Okay.
Okay. Would you rather spend an eternity with someone you hate or spend an hour with someone you love?
Oh, an hour with somebody you love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hip hop or R&B?
Huh. I'm gonna probably say R&B, but I don't want to sound like that guy. Yeah, straight R&B. Because I do love hip hop, but I think if I'm honest with myself, just so much in R&B, it would overrule hip hop.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
It's so much. Like if you start from the
Oh, my God.
60s up to, it's like,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
hip hop been hotter probably in the last 20 years though, so 30 years. So.
Okay.
Okay.
92Q or Hot 97?
He's so wrong.
It's got to be 92Q always.
Okay.
Even though I can't be mad. I made a lot of money. I made
That's
great
right.
people, Gret Pippa. I met Gret Pippa. I can't be mad.
Okay. Treadmill or elliptical?
Well, I have a treadmill. I don't have an elliptical, so I say treadmill.
Okay.
And treadmill started that reinventing journey.
Okay.
Oh.
As we speak right now, there's a pantsuit on the treadmill right now.
Okay. Would you
Some
rather
sweaters.
go? Would you rather go bungee jumping or skydiving?
Woo! I think probably skydiving.
Okay.
Because the bungee jumping, my big self, it's gonna snap.
Oh,
no.
stop
Like,
it.
Oh
Really?
no.
We did not think of. Okay, I'm gonna stop my accent.
Oh my. We don't want to be in.
I know that
Cancel
accent was
corner.
undetectable.
Okay.
You know what? We're gonna have to have like one of those things where we like all of a sudden it just goes blank. Real quick.
My car cannot those up.
Well, we can put the disclaimer.
Exactly.
Apple Music or vinyl?
Ooh, fine.
I'm gonna say vinyl out of just respect for vinyl,
Okay.
Mm.
but I ain't got no record player. So
Yeah.
Okay.
theory.
Radio or TV?
Since radio is dead, I mean they both are dying. That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say I think once a radio guy, always a radio guy.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though
Rolls Royce or Lamborghini?
Rolls.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
In 10 seconds, what's your favorite TV show?
1, 2.
Oh, Snowfall.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
yes.
All
Okay.
right, last
Oh,
question.
we could have talked about that.
Come
Okay.
on, Franklin.
Yes.
All right, last question. Great Day Washington or Be More Lifestyle?
We're gonna be more lifestyle. You know.
All
Come on,
right.
man.
All right.
That was a
PJ
trick.
don't
Y'all tried to
get
trick
it.
me out.
Exactly.
Get me fired up here.
So
Back in the
low.
basement.
So low.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people what we do here at Power 52 and ultimately how can they support?
Oh, of course. But we do a lot. Okay. We do a lot of community outreach, education. But the most important thing is our training, which is actually starting July 17th. So you can sign up. And the training is actually solar PV installation. It's 16 weeks and 80% of it you could do from the comforts of your home. 80%. Okay. 20% in person. And it is at no cost, not free, but at no
That's
cost,
right.
because you still got to donate your time. So go and sign up. You'll get a call from Mr. PJ over here, and we'll get you in the next cohort, which is July 17th. Do not forget. But the best way to support is, of course,
Yes.
our golf outing. You just
Come
want to
on
come,
through.
have fun. The best way. You can click the link in the chat. You can scan the QR code. We have about, I think, 4 foursomes left because people
Mhm.
brought them when we put them out yesterday. So go get them now. You're going to miss it if you don't get
It
them.
will be a sold out event. Do not call us the week of.
Because I ain't letting you in.
You
I don't
will
play
not
that.
get in. Trust me, you won't get in.
You will not.
Don't call Mark.
This is such a great program. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. But besides that, you can't make the golf, of course, we have other ways: Cash App, PayPal, Givelify, Zelle. And the best way is to buy our swag
Shop
so you
our
can walk in the
swag.
streets with the swag on. So,
And
yeah.
those are empowerment tees right here. If you guys don't know, these are our empowerment tees.
Nice.
Remain humble, walk by faith and not by sight. And we
I just
have
got
so
brand.
yeah, we just got brain.
Just brand.
So we're gonna take some pictures in the kissing booth
Oh yeah.
before we
I
get
always
out of
forget that
here.
part.
Me
All
too.
right.
All
So I'm
right.
need to
gonna
So
come
look
up-
straight ahead in the
I need to
camera.
come up with new
I don't know why
poses.
that's
I do
like that.
too.
I'll
We're
be
gonna
doing
do
this.
4 poses.
Yep.
Oh.
On 3. 1, 2, 3, pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. 1, 2, 3.
All right, guys. That is it for us today. Remember, life is short, so remember to forgive quickly, love truly, and kiss the community with your gifts. Until next time.